closer every week.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Well, win's a win. Told the team after the game I'm proud of them. We kept fighting. I think speaks volumes of our program. We put ourselves in a bind a lot today. Credit Gardner-Webb. I thought they came to play today. And did some really good things. We couldn't finish the game, had a chance, on defense and offense to finish the game, and we didn't. But at the end of the day, our kids found a way. Sometimes, people talk about us running the ball and all that. Well, we have some other things sometimes we can do too. And you do what you got to do to win a game, and that's what we've always said here. But I was proud of the fight. I didn't coach well today. We didn't play well today, but we won today. And I think it's one of those things early on there was just a myriad of things. I thought defensively early it wasn't bad. I mean, we've always been a little bend and don't break kind of this year anyways, but we couldn't ever, they held the ball for a long time, and then we're 3 and out. Well, that's going to catch up with you at some point. We just couldn't execute anything offensively and get in any kind of rhythm. Then we'd get in a little rhythm, we'd have a penalty or something, get you off schedule and not do it. So, but you saw some guys step up and make plays today. Obviously, Xavier Hill made plays today. Evan Thompson continues to make plays in critical situations. He finds ways to get guys on the ground. Listen, it's, I tell y'all every week, it's winning isn't easy. Winning isn't easy. We weren't as ready to play, obviously, as we need to be today. I think that was pretty obvious. I think Gardner-Webb's a much better football team than they've been, to their credit, and Coach Lamb's doing a great job. But through all that, we found a way to win. And I think at the end of the day, that's huge, because we can go coach this up and try to fix some things that went on today. Much easier to do with a win than a loss. I'll open up for questions.
First play of the last drive. Ian Cousins goes Superman and makes the catch over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
One, how big was that catch? And two, did the mindset change at that point from potential tying field goal to touchdown?
It was a big play, no question, and it put us in position real quick that we felt like, I don't know where the ball was, but we were close to field goal range. I told X before we went out, if we can get to the 30, inside the 30, I think we got a shot from there, just because normally Nate maybe 33, 34, but just the day, the weather, so I felt like if we could get inside the 30, we'd have a shot. But he made that play, and we were, I think we were in go mode. And we were talking about some little confusion on, was it out of bounds, clock stop. I thought there were some things today with the clock that were way off. But we had a run and a throw. We had two things ready to go on 2 downs, and I had a timeout. So we figured, all right, and because the play really that Mike caught was the same play we threw for the touchdown. It's just a read thing. So it was the same stuff. So, but no question, I think we want to go win the game.
Of course, this Austin team, I know you guys would like to run the ball, but of course the passing attack was just on fire today. How do you prepare just your team for moments like that in case, in a game like today you have to pass to win, you're able to take advantage?
Well, people think all we do is run at practice and run the ball the whole practice, and we never do anything but run the ball. Come watch practice. We throw the ball way more than we do percentage-wise in a game. And you could tell I'm getting a little bit fiery because, honestly, we do more 1-minute situations in preseason and take a lot of pride in it. And we work on this stuff. Like, it's part of who we are. And so you go look at us percentage-wise, and we throw the ball way more in practice. I think it was fortunate. Some stuff we work on came to fruition tonight, and Lord knows we needed it, because we weren't able to run the ball effectively like we needed to, so you had to go try to find some other things you could do. It was it's stuff we work on. It's not we throw the ball a pretty good bit in practice. I know there's that misnomer that we never throw the ball, but we do. We throw it a good bit.
You guys obviously started down 10-0, came back, won the game, not to mention not the best of conditions with the rain. So what do you really have to say about the resilience of your team and what they showed today?
No question. I mean, that's why I told them after the game. I mean, it tells you about our football team, our kids, tells you about our culture here, our belief here of winning. If you don't believe in winning, you ain't winning that game. You're not. There's just too much. There was too much adversity. Like you said, we start out, we're down. We're having to claw back in it. And then really had a position to go close the door on the game. Couldn't do that. And then got down again. So I think it speaks of our kids and our staff, and just resilience is a good word. I like using, our kids believe are going to win. And I think that comes from a winning culture that our kids and staff have created since we've been here. And I think that was the difference today, in all honesty.
I know you already mentioned Evan Thompson and his performance, but he had that big fourth down stop in the third quarter. So how big really was that for you guys?
I think we scored on the next play, if I remember correctly. 2 plays, but so huge turnaround. They're down there, so it was big. Anytime we could get them off the field, because we struggled doing that at times, today. So to get them off the field and able to get some points out of it, I think that was a big turnaround there. I don't remember what the score was. I'll be honest with you, today was quite the blur a little bit, just being straight up with you. But it was huge in the game. There's no question. Big, huge stop.
Of course, you always talk about making plays on special teams. On the extra point, when they went up, you guys blocked the extra point and were able to kind of make it a 3-point game instead of a 4-point game. How big of that? How big of that was that for you when you have the option to kick a field goal to tie, or you can just literally win the game?
Huge. It's huge, because you're talking about how much ground you got to cover. You know what I mean? And again, it goes back to our kids. Like, we just went down with, I don't know how much time, 40 seconds, 43 seconds, something like that, to go in the game, and they're going to block it. Like, it's not like, oh, we're defeated. And what a huge point of that. Gabe Benyard had a huge kick return, field position. Like, there's a lot of things, though we didn't play well, that our kids just kept playing. And I'm proud of them for that, even though it wasn't great today. But they kept playing and kept fighting to make plays. And in a game like that, everything you guys are talking about, every one of those plays is critical. Because one of them goes the other way, it might be having a different conversation right now. So I think they were all critical, and that one was as well. It gives you option, it gave you an option of what you could do.
We come in and do the pre-game press conference with you on Tuesday, so we don't get to see the rest of practice. You said that the guys are still learning how to practice. How was the rest of practice this past week? Because you always say that you are able to then start to control the controllables. Personal foul, late hit, roughing the kicker on a missed extra point, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, and then we had another bad pitch that turned into a fumble. So how was practice this week? And, did it correlate?
It was okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I could count on one hand the many really good practices we've had. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being honest. I said this to our coaches when we walk off the field every day. We haven't really learned how to go attack those things yet. There was parts of practice on Wednesday and Thursday that were better. Thursday was not offensively was not near as bad as it was the week before. The week before it was awful. And so there's definitely some correlation. I'm going to take ownership of this one. I don't know that we were emotionally ready to play, and I could sit here and give you a lot of reasons why, because the last 2 weeks have been fairly emotional, and I don't think we were. I think we were trying, but when you're not really in tune and locked in, these things you just called out, John, they happen. And that's not a characteristic that we usually have. Like usually we don't have a lot of that. And we did today. And that's on me. But I don't, early on I could tell, and this team's been hard to read for me during the week at times and even in pregame, just really where they are. But I could tell early on we weren't. Like, I think they were trying, but we didn't have a lot of energy. We just didn't. And I'm not making any excuses. Y'all been around me enough to know that ain't my gig. But we didn't. And we had to fight through and try to overcome that because it was, there's things that happen, we don't go in motion. I mean, there's stuff that shouldn't be happening happened. But I think we just weren't as locked in as we needed to be today. And anytime you play a game, I don't care who the opponent is, if you're not ready to play, you're going to put yourself in a position where you can get beat. And I'll take ownership of this one. I'm not sure we were ready to play. And I thought Gardner-Webb had a game plan that they were trying to, keep the ball away from us, and in their own right kind of do what we don't intend to do, but we do it. They kind of did it a little bit early on, and just kind of nickel and dime a little bit. And their back's a really good player, and we knew it coming in, and they exposed us with that, and they got him matched up with a linebacker in the pass game. Not a good matchup. There's just a lot of things that happened. And again, I'm not pointing a finger. I'm pulling the thumb that we can definitely be better at. But we weren't where we need to be to play a football game today. Hopefully we can learn from it. I tell them all the time, man, you keep touching that hot stove, eventually you're going to get burnt. We can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? We can't do that anymore.
On a lighter note, with 4 full years, or almost 4 full years of eligibility, it's going to be nice to put the name Benyard down in the lineup on both sides of the ball for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. Both those kids are learning and growing, and playing as true freshmen's not easy. And I don't know that I have to go look and see how they play, but they're both going to be really, really good players here, and they're still learning. Like it's, you know what I mean? They're deer in headlights out there sometimes, but they're both football players. They're great kids. Excited to watch them grow and learn. This is the most Gabe's played ever in a game, and I told y'all it was coming. But this is the most he's ever played. Now Garland's been playing a good bit, but Gabe played a good bit today. So I think those guys are excited about them and their future.
She mentioned Evan earlier. Tied a record that was set by Bryson Armstrong. So you put Evan Thompson and Bryson Armstrong in the same sentence with 16 tackles in a game. I'd say that's saying quite a bit. What do you think?
I would agree. Evan, the great thing about Evan is, and I might get him to go talk to the rest of our team, he prepares himself as good as anybody I've been around to get ready to practice and play. I'm talking about what he eats, how he takes care of his body, the rest he gets, the mental preparation. He does as good a job as anybody I've seen in a while of preparing himself. So when he does all that, you see the results on a Saturday, you're like, yeah, there's no wonder because of what he does every day to get himself ready to go. And we were talking about the other day, I think I may give him the opportunity to communicate with our guys a little bit of how he gets himself ready to go. Because we got a lot of young kids, you know what I mean, that learning how to really prepare yourself for a game, I think, is a process, especially in college. So, but he does it, man. And I think that's why he's so productive. He really, his preparation is on point.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate y'all. Whew.
You didn't go for it on 4th down today at all. It's 4th time in program history. Now, come on. Gotta keep it up.
Little field position game going on. And we weren't moving it very good. So, you start second guessing a little bit. When Come on, guys. Come on. Evan's sporting his Atlanta Braves hat. Be humble and hungry. Be humble. Be humble.
pretty good game. Now, look, I know that you've got a good grasp of the offense and all that, but how much fun is it to actually get and I know you guys throw the ball, and Coach just made a very good point that you throw it a lot in practice, okay? But to be able to do it in the game and then to succeed at crunch time like that, how much more fun is it to get to show off those skills?
It was really fun to be able to complete some passes with my guys. We work day in and day out in practice, scaling, pass. Before practice, we even do routes on air. So it was really fun out there, being able to throw the ball a little bit and make sure everybody was in the right place, having fun. So
the last drive, we were talking about Ian's catch, going over the middle, and he put on the Superman cape to come down with that one. So when you guys get that big chunk play on that first one, what goes through your mind? Because, Coach is always going to be aggressive. Is it now we're no longer worried about field goal position, we're going for a touchdown? Is that kind of the way it worked out?
We wanted to get as close as possible to get in Nate's field goal range. Honestly, I'm thinking score, just based off of what we had going on, momentum swinging our way. So we tried to get to the ball as quick as possible because we knew the situation, and the rest was history.
Now, Xavier, that last catch you had gave you guys the game-winning touchdown. Can you kind of walk us through that play and what was going through your head there?
Well, while we was in the huddle, I was telling Coach the same person was checking me, so just throw the fade. And that's what I really wanted. I've been wanting that since like game 1, for real. That's really all we work on, to just get the fade.
Of course, Xavier, field conditions obviously played a huge role in this game, especially with running and being able to throw. How are you able to manage being able to take advantage of throwing, especially with the way the field conditions were today?
We had kind of prepared for the rain, and it was raining later on in the week, so it kind of helped us get used to how it would be on Saturday. It didn't rain as hard as we thought it was going to for the game, so it kind of helped us out a little bit, but we were prepared for any situation that came up.
Did you work with wet ball drills, that kind of stuff? Dunking them in the bucket, or?
Yeah, honestly.
Evan, Coach, we were talking, you tied the program record for number of tackles in a game today with Bryson Armstrong. And he said that he's thinking about letting you talk to the team because of the way that you prepare to practice, the way that you eat, you get your rest, you do everything that you need to do. What is your routine to get ready for practice? And I guess it makes it the whole day, because obviously you're doing something right.
Right. Obviously being here playing football for my whole life, I understand the dynamic of being an inside linebacker is not easy at all. So I know, I got so many things that I do outside of playing ball that I really strive myself on, just sleeping right, eating right, hydrating, and also doing things away from football that keeps my mind sharp and, staying happy and all that stuff. So, I strive myself on that, and you can't make the club in the tub. So it's just a rough game, and you just got to do everything you can, because the moment you slack off, you're going to get hurt or something's going to go wrong. So I always do that.
Can you give me a couple more details? Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're not going through McDonald's and Chick-fil-A quite as often as I am. So, what is your eating habits? And then you mentioned that you do things away from football to kind of clear your mind. What are some of those things?
Eating-wise, I just strive to get as natural as I can. Obviously, being blessed with a great facility on campus. I utilize that a lot, but also I make stuff at home. I try to do so many fruits and vegetables as I can. That's just like the basics of it. And then lots of white and red meat. So, but also the things outside of football, man, I've just just utilize your mind as much as you can. You got to keep it sharp as much as you can. And then I do things that I just enjoy, like obviously golfing. I do that as much as I can. Hanging out with friends, calling my family, seeing these guys as much as I can outside of football, just hanging out. So utilizing those things is like probably some of the most fun experiences you have as a football player, just going out and just hanging out with your guys and doing things away from the game.
Evan, one of the things Coach just talked about was the energy early on in the game, especially when you guys went down 10-0. As a defensive player, how are you guys able to channel up the energy and be able to help start the run of being able to tie the game before halftime?
I mean, I always tell the guys, especially D-line and the guys behind me, that momentum's always coming our way. I know the offense is going to give us a good shot at flipping the field position. So we do our job, and they're going to do their job. So I just tell them momentum's always coming away, and it's always on us. Like, no one's going to help us. We just got to play balls up and play defense.
And of course, we can't help but notice you got the Braves hat on tonight. Do you have any predictions on the games tonight?
Man, I mean, obviously I'm hoping they're winning, so we got the opportunity to watch a couple of the games this week. So it's been fun. But, I mean, if we can get one out tonight, tomorrow's going to be crazy with winning Game 5 if we can. So I like a 4-1 Braves win tonight.
Just one more question. Obviously, you had that huge fourth down stop in the third quarter. You guys got a touchdown 2 plays later. So can you kind of just walk me through that play a little bit?
Oh, man. Okay, so, I mean, I just saw we ran a perfect play against that. They just had me blitzing off the edge, and I just saw him give it off and just ran right through the thighs and made a tackle. And, I mean, the rest was history. Once we give the ball to the offense, we know they're going to go down and score. So.
Actually, obviously, as quarterback, you're kind of the de facto leader of the unit, and as linebacker, you're kind of growing into that role. Now, talking to Coach earlier, he's always stressing that control the controllables, and he says, we haven't learned how to practice yet. And again, today we had unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. We had a roughing roughing the kicker penalty. We had personal foul out of bounds. Unfortunately, we had another one of those missed pitches that turned into a fumble. When he says we haven't learned how to practice yet, what does that mean to you guys, and how do you guys go about fixing it?
Really just being able to understand your assignment. We go through practice, and a lot of guys are either tired or like something ain't going right mentally going on. So we try to pick everybody up and tell them, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're here for. We're here to win championships and win the Big South, and all our goals are ahead of us, so why stop now? So we always preach that to each other and want to get better each day.
Anything to add on to that?
I mean, he said it perfectly. I mean, I just think that you're always going to follow, things that other people do. So I think if someone steps up and, takes control of what we can do and just pushes everybody to be best. I know one of the coach stresses something is that when you strive to be perfect, everyone else will follow. And I think that's a huge team dynamic that we have, and I think that we utilize that pretty much every day in practice.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, my God.
I need to help you up.
I got this momentum going in the right direction.